One of Cloud Imperial Games' biggest achievements is the fact that they have managed to gather a million-strong community of supporters whom, for a large part, not only closely follow the development of the game, but also regularly support it via new pledges, content creation, or monthly subscription. The advantage of having such a dedicated and supported community is that growth remains constant, with new funding records happening every year, and an evergreen hype that seems to be constantly attracting new players. Unfortunately, as it often is the case with passion, when mistakes are made, drama is not too far behind, and that's coming from someone who has made a lot of mistakes also. So it seems like we are at the dawn of a new surge of drama, and this time it's about in-game ship purchases. So let's take a look at what is going on. Welcome to the channel, it's Erad, and in today's video we are going to talk about some recent changes that were done for Star Citizen Alpha 3.18 in regards to in-game ship purchases. A few days ago, Cloud Imperial Games announced in a patch note for Alpha 3.18 PTU that a bunch of recent ships would then be available for purchase in-game, such as the Scorpius from Roper Space Industries, the Pisces C8R from Anvil Aerospace, or the Cutter and the Corsair from Drake Interplanetary. And when this happened, I also made a video to cover the news and looked at where we would be able to buy them and for how much. Well, unfortunately, it appears that we have rejoiced a little too soon, because the most recent of these ships have all been removed from the in-game ship stores, as we could see in the patch notes from yesterday, confirming that the Corsair, the C8R, and the Cutter, all introduced around the time of the latest Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, won't indeed be purchasable in-game, and that players will indeed have to wait a little more time before being able to buy them in-game, as was confirmed by Director of Community Xylo on Spectrum, where he did say that typically ships have a 90-day window between their release in-game and their availability in game shops. Now, personally, I think that this reason is a little hard to swallow, because by the time 3.18 gets released, it will have been almost 90 days if the patch goes live in a couple of weeks. So they could have decided to let it slip and keep the ships in for this patch. I mean, it would have been a very nice gesture that would have pleased the community. After all, we do make mistakes, we all make mistakes, I make plenty of them myself, and CIG here are no exception. And when something like this happens, reversing course just because of a few days seems a little petty, to say the least. And the reason behind this sudden backpedaling is probably the marketing team, as hinted by Xylo's Spectrum response. As we can see, he made it very clear that there is a 90-day plan that's been established for releasing ships, for released ships to be purchasable in-game. And while it clearly was okay for the Scorpius to go way beyond that mark to finally be purchasable in-game, of course, clearly here, no exception will be done to let anything pass before the deadline. And while gamers may not see that as much of a big deal, you might have to keep in mind that the people at the helm of the marketing team are businessmen first and foremost. And so when you are a businessman, you must always try to do what's best for business. Otherwise, you just won't be taken seriously, and that is the very last thing that you would want. In addition, not releasing recent flyable ships in-game is a core part of CIG's business plan, which heavily relies on the creation of the need to buy one of the game's many ships with real money. Now, I know that this may sound very petty, or dare I say greedy, but you have to realize that despite the low revenue these extra ships off the in-game shops will bring, it nevertheless could be a huge difference maker. And to understand what kind of difference I'm talking about here, I invite you to take a look at the financial results of Cloud Imperial Games for 2021, another record-breaking year that brought the company a profit, which of course sounds wonderful. until you take a closer look at the numbers and realize that the profit was only of a mere $400,000, which is literally nothing compared to the $100 million Cloud Imperium Games now makes per year. So there we go, guys. I think that this is how we can understand the decision made recently to remove those ships from in-game shops. I think that in the end, it's very important for Cloud Imperium Games to ensure that they are making a profit, especially at the time when, despite we are getting more and more funding, we're breaking records each and every year, they're still hiring more devs, costs are still on the rise, and they gotta make sure that they still have a profit, because a profit just looks good and adds credibility versus a loss would just be looking bad and also decrease their reputation, especially if they are looking to have more loans than they already have. But anyway, guys, what are your thoughts? What could be the reason why CIG have decided to take those ships off the in-game ship shops? I'd like to know really what you guys have in mind regarding that decision. Anyway, guys, that is all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Shout out to Dr. Fabin, Zio Crusher, and Wolfpipug. Don't forget to answer the question and subscribe to the channel, because we have giveaways, and this month we're giving away a Centurion on YouTube. And also, if you join our video sharing contest on Discord or subscribe on Patreon or via the YouTube membership program, you could be in to win a freelancer. Thank you so much for watching, guys. It's been the Eradicator, and I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. A premium video like this one takes a lot of time and effort to record and edit, and I am aware that you'd like to see more of these as much as I'd like to produce more as well. This is why I rely on YouTube and Patreon members as well as Twitch subscribers to keep the lights on and help me become one day a full-time content creator. The closer you help me achieve this goal, the more I can do for you. Together, we've already accomplished so much, and I cannot thank you enough for your support. You are making all of this possible.